This is fun. I'm really enjoying this. I mean, because you know he's not gonna listen. You know he's gonna rebel. You know something's gonna happen. Um, so yeah, but I've never heard of that before. Having someone stay in the common room other than their house, like even in the. Sorry. Get down. She knows she's not supposed to be on the counter. Even on the books when they, people were friends with each other from different houses and even, siblings were in different houses from each other, but they never seemed to go into each other's common rooms. It never said, it never mentioned in the Gryffindor common room that there were any other houses, just visiting or hanging out. Which does seem a little weird to me. I mean, I can't imagine there's like a rule against kids, going into the common room of other houses as long as they're accompanied by someone of that house. I mean, I've always wondered this, like, how do the passwords not get out? I mean, I know they change every now and again, but yeah, like if you bring your friend over and you have to say the password in front of them, then they'll know the password and they can just tell anyone. I mean, what's the harm of going into another common room? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They never said that there was a rule against it, and I can't imagine there would have been, but they also, didn't make it see, like, I mean, it's possible that there were kids hanging out in the common room, but they just never mentioned it, so I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, they certainly, not really maybe in like the first and second year so much, but as time went on, especially with the DA, they started really becoming friends with kids in other houses. So you'd think they'd want to hang out in the common room. They talk about they went ate at each other's tables all the time. Like when Percy was dating Penelope, he sometimes had breakfast with her at the Ravenclaw table and stuff like that. So, yeah, anyway, but yeah, telling them, yeah, I mean, it is weird to think of Harry as a parent, because we really only know him as a teenager and, don't know what it's like. I mean, I'm 26 now, but I don't have kids, so I don't know what it's like to be a parent. It is still always weird to me when I realize, Lily and James, Harry's parents, not his children, they had him when they were 20 and died when they were 21, and so it was like kind of weird to me because I've always thought of them as parents, that like, a generation above me, and then when I surpassed them in age, that was kind of weird, like, because I think of them as older than me because they were parents, and they were parents of Harry, who I always, I like identified with. He was, I mean, well, technically he's 10 years older than me if he were a real person, but when I was reading the books, he was a teenager and I was a teenager, so I always like aligned myself with him. But anyway, he's trying to be a good father and not doing a very good job. But there isn't any manual for being a parent, I guess. But so let's see what happens. Act 2, Scene 9, Hogwarts Staircase. Albus pursues Harry across the stage. Albus, what if I run? I'll run. Harry, Albus, get back in bed. Albus, I'll run away again. Harry, no, you won't. Albus, I will, and this time I'll make sure Ron can't find us. Ron, do I hear my name? Ron enters on a staircase, his side parting now super aggressive, his robes just a little bit too short. Again, that word that I don't know. His clothes now spectacularly staid. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know what it is or what it means. Albus, Uncle Ron, thank Dumbledore. If ever we needed one of your jokes, it's now. I wonder what happened. Ron frowns, confused. It's like he's Percy. Ron, jokes? I don't know any jokes. Albus, of course you do. You run a joke shop. Oh, how come I never put that together? Well, he was talking about, earlier he was talking about Weasley's Wizard Wheezies, and but I didn't realize that he was actually working there with George now that Fred is dead. I just thought, that he hangs out there a lot. But that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad that George, can hang out with one of his other brothers, even if... I'm sorry, I never got over that. I don't know. How can anyone get over that? It's like, I didn't come up with this. I read it, on the internet about how, when in Order of the Phoenix, Molly was trying to fight the Bogart, and, it was one dead body after another. But when it was Fred and George, it was their dead bodies together. And I don't remember what the exact wording was, because something like, not even in her wildest nightmares would the two of them be separated. And this wasn't in the books, this was in the movie. I think it was Chamber of Secrets. They showed, it was Chamber of Secrets, the movie. They showed the clock with all the faces, and where anyone was, home, school, traveling, mortal peril. And the hand with Fred and George's faces was the same hand. So, I mean, they're just not supposed to be separated. I'm sorry, I'm more laughing than crying, but it's just, I mean, if, as upset as I was about all of the deaths, if there was one I would cancel, it would be Fred. I was torn up about Dobby, about, Hedwig, and obviously Lupin and Tonks and Sirius, and, so many of them. But, if I could only bring back one of them, it would be Fred, because that was the most unfair to me. I don't even know if that's right. He was young. He was, not the youngest, because I think Colin Creevey also died, which and he was only 16. And Fred would have been like 19 or 20, I think. I don't know, maybe I just don't care about Colin Creevey. And I think Lavender Brown died too, but she was annoying in book 6, so. Well, and then Colin was annoying in book 2, so. But anyway, all right. Moment of silence for Fred and the others, I guess. Okay, so anyway, we were in the middle of a scene about Ron, his parent, and whatever they changed. We don't even know if they saved Cedric or not, but whatever they changed caused Ron to turn into Percy. So, Albus, of course you do. You run a joke shop. Ron, now supremely confused. A joke shop? Well now. Anyway, I'm pleased I caught you. I was going to bring some sweets for a sort of a get well soon, but actually Padma, she thinks about things a lot more deeply than I do, and she thought it'd be nicer for you to get something useful for school. So we got you a set of quills. Yes. Look at these bad boys. Top of the range. Oh my God, what happened? Padma, he wasn't even paying attention to her at all. He didn't care. He spent the whole ball staring at Hermione. So what the heck happened? What about Rose and Hugo? Do they not exist? That's so sad. Oh my God. All right. Albus, who's Padma? Harry frowns at Albus. Your aunt. Albus, I have an Aunt Padma? Ron to Harry. Taken a confundus charm to the head, has he? To Albus. My wife, Padma, you remember. Talks slightly too close to your face, smells a bit minty. Leans in. Padma, mother of Panju? To Harry. That's mine, here of course, Panju. He's in trouble again. I wanted to just send a howler, but Padma insisted I come in person. I don't know why, he just laughs at me. Albus. But you're married to Hermione. Beat. Ron doesn't understand this at all. Ron. Hermione? No, Merlin's beard. Harry. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay, I suppose I should read this before commenting on it. Harry, Albus has also forgotten that he was sorted into Gryffindor, conveniently. Wow, that's great. So he was sorted into Gryffindor and he still ended up BFFs with Scorpius. Now that's really interesting. How does that happen? This is so interesting. Must read on. Ron, yes, well, sorry old chap, but you're a Gryffindor. Albus, but how did I get sorted into Gryffindor? Okay, so ignore the whole conversation I had a few minutes ago about hanging out in the common room of a house other than what house you're in. Okay. Ron, you persuaded the Sorting Hat, don't you remember? Panju bet you that you couldn't get into Gryffindor if your life depended on it, so you chose Gryffindor to spite him. I can't blame you. Dry. We'd all like to wipe the smile off his face sometimes, wouldn't we? Terrified. Please don't tell Padma I said that. Albus, who's Panju? Ron and Harry stare at Albus. Ron, bloody hell, you're really not yourself, are you? Anyway, better go before I'm sent to Howler myself. He stumbles on, not even an inch of the man he was. Albus, but that doesn't make sense. Harry, Albus, whatever you're feigning, it isn't working. I will not change my mind. Albus, Dad, you have two choices. Either you take me to... Harry, no, you're the one with the choice, Albus. You do this, or you get in deeper, much deeper trouble. Do you understand? Scorpius, Albus, you're okay. That's fantastic. Harry, he's completely cured, and we've got to go. Albus looks up at Scorpius, and his heart breaks. He walks on. Oh, come on. His heart breaks. I didn't write that. It's what I would have written, but I didn't write it. Scorpius, are you mad at me? What's going on? Albus stops and turns to Scorpius. Albus, did it work? Did any of it work? Scorpius, no, but Albus. Harry, Albus, whatever gibberish you're talking, you need to stop it now. This is your final warning. Albus looks torn between his dad and his friend. Albus, I can't, okay? Scorpius, you can't what? I'm sorry, I know I'm not supposed to read ahead. Albus, we'll be better off without each other, okay? Scorpius is left looking up after him, heartbroken.